Hey everybody, this is me, Undead Viking. A little while back, well, not a little while back, but a little while back, I did a review of this game called The Battle for Sularia. It is a two-player battle card game. There's lots of games, you know, of that genre out there, but I was really taken with this one because it really gave me a nice, fresh, new take on this genre of game, this expandable card game. For God's sakes, don't say LCG. But anyway, so, and I dug the theme, and I dug the art, and I dug the factions that they're going, and in my review, like I had played it, you know, nearly a dozen times, and I was still having fun with it, but I was really looking forward to what the creators were going to do. Like, when's the first, like, battle pack going to come out, or like little extra deck of cards going to come out, so I could like add those to my factions and create new decks and what have you. And so finally the creators of the game contacted me, and like, this is the next expansion for it. They sent it to me. I'm lucky enough to have been playing it quite a few times since then. This is a game I had to take this out of my backpack, that my work backpack, if you will, like, that it has like about 9-10 small little games, and this one gets played a ton with me and my buddies. And so I was really excited to bring this the next day at work, and me and my buddy Joel, we sat down and played a bunch of it right there. We probably took a little bit too long on our on our lunch break, but who cares? We had fun. And so I'm going to show you the new cards and they come out. I'm going to explain some of the new abilities that are going to be listed on those cards. And you know, I'm not really going to do much of a conclusion, just because of the fact that, like, you know, if you want to know more about the game, I invite you to go ahead and check out my old video. And you know, and just, you know, if you want to dive deep into that, you can. I went over the rules, the basic rules for the game, pretty thoroughly, in my opinion, and so you can go ahead and check that out if you have more questions about the base game. So let me show you, if you decide to get this Blood, Profit, and Glory little battle pack of cards, what you will get if you back this Kickstarter. All right, awesome. Alright, I'm going to go over the different cards you're going to get with this expansion. Now, this is the first expansion for Sularia, and I'm really excited about it, basically because I have totally played my copy of the game several times, and you know, and while I've enjoyed playing the different strategies with the different cards and playing both sides, I needed a little fresh blood so I could create some new decks and create some new strategies and what have you. So I'm just going to kind of just go over each card, and there's some new abilities that are being released with this particular expansion. I'm going to go over those as well. So we'll just start with the Jotun here. And obviously this is one of the two factions that you have, and so each deck is going to get 4 new cards, but you also get these mercenary cards, which I'll talk about in just a second. But you get multiple copies of each card. You're going to get 4 copies of each card. Also, this is going to come with a small little like quick reference rules guide as well. So like, if you have like deck boxes and you're taking this game with you, then you don't have to have like the larger sized rules or whatever. You can have that with you. But anyway, so regardless, I'm not going to go over the rules for Sularia and how to play it. If you are unfamiliar with the game, I will put the link to my original review for the original base game, and so you can go ahead and take a look at that, and you can learn how to play the game. But anyway, so here we go. This is a tactics card, and just quickly, like, this pretty cool ability. The target combatant controlled by opponent is returned to its owner's hand. So it's just from whence you came. You know, it's pretty straightforward as far as that goes. That's obviously got no new special abilities. But here we go. This is where we kind of get into the kind of fun stuff that the Jotun cards get. So here we have a Shield of Hrothgar. It's a combatant, and you can notice there's this little thing, warrior here. You know, and you're like, well, it's okay. It's a good attack and defense and what have you, as far as putting it into play. And then you're like, but what does that combat that warrior thing here? So now we have the sword the sword of Hrothgar, and then here you have the warrior as well. And then now this has each sword of Hrothgar attack you control gets +1, +0, +1 attack, +0 defense for each sword of Hrothgar in this attack. So now you can kind of see they're kind of building up towards something because of the fact that you can have multiple copies of this card. And so if you can get multiple swords of Hrothgar out there, then you can actually have like a bigger attack, if you will. But now here we have Lady Morgana the Fang. Now this is like the leaders of these warriors, these Hrothgar warriors. And so she has this warrior and focus of 2. All other Jotun combatants with warrior control get that focus as well. So like now you can see where this is where you're going to be comboing these things together, and you obviously would want to put all 3 of these cards in your deck so you could go ahead and get that focus ability. And my understanding is that in the future, like with this little keyword of warrior, there's going to be other cards as well as the game progresses that are going to actually focus on those that have that keyword of warrior. So pretty cool. I'll fully admit that I am more of a Jotun player than I am a Scythian player, so I have incorporated definitely those 3 different cards into my deck several times when I played. So anyway, so here we go. The Scythian cards. This one's pretty straightforward. It is a shield generator installation, and when you install it, all Scythian sites you control get a bonus to their defense. And this one already has a huge defense as well. So, like obviously just a big giant shield that you're going to be able to use to protect your stuff. Here we have a condition card. Whenever a Scythian tactic you control deals damage, Sularia player deals half that damage, rounded down to a target combatant or site controlled by opponents. So now you can kind of stack things up. And here we go. And this is actually a really cool card. I did like this one. And it kind of makes me mad that the Jotun don't have somebody like this. But anyway, so here you have this combatant. And so it's a little bit clever. And there's a ton of text down there. But basically what this is he's kind of like a spy. And so when you deploy him, you place a counter on him that says that, because this game, like, you just supply your own counters. You can use pennies, you can use whatever, dice, whatever you want. You place a decoy on it, and you may discard a card. And if you discard a card, you get to draw 2 cards. That's kind of a cool little power. But then, if you remove the decoy counter, you choose a new target for an ability or an effect that's played by your target opponent. So, if somebody else chooses something that they're going to attack for a target, or like an attack, or an ability or an effect, not attack, I should say, ability or effect, you get to switch that target. So it's like this is something you can put out there, and you can wait, and then you be able to, like, prevent somebody from targeting something with an effect that you don't want them to do. And then finally, at the very very bottom, if you can activate and pay to Sularia, the resource that is in the game, you place a decoy counter back onto Furtum Braque. I think that's how you pronounce it. So basically, this is a guy you kind of just put out, and you have him kind of sit there, and you use him as a defense against your opponent's abilities. Really good power there. So, and then now we have Projectus Immunis. So he's hidden. Remember that. So like you can't be found, can't be attacked directly. You activate, you prevent all the damage to a target Scythian combatant you control this turn. So hugely powerful guy. Not only is he hidden, so he's tough to track down and wipe out on your own, but also he can prevent somebody else that's in the combat zone from being hurt, with this ability. So really cool powers, really cool additions to the Scythians as well. They kind of, they don't tie together like the Jotun ones do directly, but I mean, overall, I think these cards are more powerful than the ones that the Jotun get. So. And allow for a little bit more flexibility. Because, like with the Jotun ones, if you're going to start putting those Hrothgar warriors in there, you should probably put all of them in. So you're kind of like, I mean, you probably wouldn't put all 12 cards in, but you'd want a combo of at least, 2 or 3 cards of each, in my opinion. That's what I've done when I've made my decks, and I've seemed to have done pretty well. So, okay, finally here we have mercenary cards. Obviously, mercenaries, these cards will go, as they say, to the highest bidder. So these can be used by either faction. And there were mercenary cards in the original original box, but they weren't actually units. They were like different tactics cards that you were able to have. But anyway, so here we have, like, these are combatants. So we have a mercenary, Harp the Broadcaster. When you deploy Harp the Broadcaster, you may target a face-up influence card in your influence row and flip that card face down. So that's when you deploy it. So the cool little special ability, plus, pretty powerful, actually, as far as, like their attack and defense. Pretty cool ability for that one. I really like this. Okay, this is the Berserker. Okay, so Verker, the Berserker. Okay, so he's got this Berserker ability. He's already got a 5/5, right? So anytime you declare this guy as an attacker, he gets a token on him, and then that token is considered to be +1/+1 to both, so he gets +1 attack, +1 defense, and that stays with him. So if you're fighting a Verker the Berserker and you don't take him out, and every time he attacks, he's just going to become more and more powerful, and so you need to take care of this guy quickly if you're facing him. All right, this is a cool one too. So okay, Gunslinger, Johnny Cash. So Johnny Cash, which, come on, that's an awesome name. But anyway, so the Gunslinger Johnny Cash is you notice there's this little bounty on here. So first of all, he's deployed reset. So in other words, he can immediately start acting when he gets deployed. But if you notice, whenever a combatant is placed into the damage pile by the Gunslinger Johnny Cash, by the Johnny Cash's bounty ability, you put a +1/+1 counter on Gunslinger Johnny Cash. So what's the bounty ability? The bounty ability allows him to pick a specific enemy combatant, to attack and do damage to. And you can activate that power at any time. It doesn't have to be part of an attack or anything. So obviously, kind of like Verker the Berserker, very situationally, you can then pinpoint your attack, pick somebody you're going to attack, and if you can take them out, you can get Johnny here more and more powerful and can be a force to be reckoned with. Cool ability, cool card, cool name. Probably my favorite card of these new cards that came up. That's both factions and Mercenary, just probably because of the name and the cool ability of these guys. I do like Crazy Joe's explosives, though. So here's the site. So when you activate it, you get to place an explosive counter on a target that is controlled by an opponent. But you're like, well, what's the big deal with that? Well, then, if you want to remove all explosive counters from a target site controlled by an opponent, for each explosive counter removed, deal 4 damage to that site. So here's Crazy Joe's explosives. Obviously, this guy you can do a ton of damage by putting those tokens on there, and then when you remove them, obviously you blow them up. Pretty cool little spot, plus a cool name too, Crazy Joe's Explosives. All right, so here, second to the last one, the penultimate card of the new deck is Kaiser. I think it is Omega Experiment. So you'll notice that he's got no attack, 2 defense. He's a combatant, you're like, well, what's the big deal? So, if you remove a combatant card from your hand or influence row and place it into the damage pile, the Omega Experiment gains the attack, defense, and description text equal to the attack, defense, and description text of the combatant card you place. So he's going to mimic something that you have, and so very once again situational, but you can use this as synergy and kind of surprise people by being able to add that ability, add those as basically duplicating a card. Even though you have to get rid of that card, you get to duplicate it. So pretty cool ability with Kaiser. And then finally here we have Dr. Laner, the Time Hopper. He's a combatant. He doesn't have a lot of attack ability. He doesn't have a lot of defense. But when you deploy Dr. Laner, the Time Hopper, at the end of your turn, you take another turn. Now, how cool is that? You basically just get to skip the other player and re-go again. And I have won. I have won matches several times now, at least 3 times that I can think of, because of this guy's ability. And this guy is awesome. So, I mean, honestly, I know I said that Johnny Cash was probably the coolest card in here, but obviously I love that ability, taking an extra turn, and that's really a game turner, with Dr. Laner. So there you go. So those are the different cards that you're adding to Sularia with this expansion. Like I said, if you're not familiar with the original game, go ahead and, like I said, I'm going to put the link to my first review of this. Also, I invite you to go ahead and check out the Kickstarter for this expansion. You can, if you missed out on the base game, which is right here, you are able to order the base game with this expansion. You can kind of get it all together, and they have some cool combo packs there. If you have any, if you want to dive deeper into the world of Sularia, I invite you, like I said, check out my review, check out the page on Board Game Geek, and go ahead and check out the Kickstarter page as well. So I'm not really going to do a conclusion for this one. Just suffice it to say that if you are a fan of these expandable battle card games, 2-player card games, I always kind of get into these things late, it seems like. So I'm really excited that I got into Sularia right off from the bat. Right now I own every single card that's out right now for Sularia. I intend to keep it that way. This is a fresh take, in my opinion, of the the battle two-player battle card game. I love the theme. I love the art. I love everything, and it's like it hasn't hit that point where it's gotten so ridiculously complex and difficult where it's like losing the fun for me. It's very straightforward. It's very fun, and it's a challenge each and every time when me and my buddies create a new deck and have at it, and we have a lot of fun with it. So there you go. If you have any questions, ask away. As always, thank you very much for watching the video. This is me, the Undead Viking, and I'm going to tell you to have yourself one heck of an awesome day. All right, bye-bye.